some apprehension. Things really haven't been going too well for them thus far. And this fourth game, a rare floodlit match for a touring side. The Australians have looked vulnerable. They lost to London and the North Division before beating a young England selection last Saturday. The Southwest Division seldom have clicked in competitive rugby, but they did draw against the Wallabies in '84. And the Australians were to receive no respite, even though the Southwest Division were playing into the gale. The first 30 minutes, their forwards were very much in the ascendant, and a sequence of penalties produced opening scores, first by Stuart Barnes. For Barnes, of course, an important occasion in front of the England selectors and the side for the international the week on Saturday to be selected this weekend. Barnes was successful with his first, and with a second one too, in reply a penalty by Andrew Leeds, which really emphasised the fact that the Southwest forwards had gained early control, which they were never to lose to the Wallabies. So with those three penalties, two to the Southwest and one to Australia, it was 6-3 before the Southwest really turned good possession into superbly taken points. This was the setup with just about 6 minutes of the first half to go. Webb up in the line, and then Nibbs here cutting back and feeding Halliday, galloping to the corner on the Wallaby line, the first score. 10 points to 3, and this really was a beautifully taken score, with Halliday there, with Webb coming up from full-back, and then see how Nibbs changes the angle of attack and gets the support on the wide outside from the Southwest Division captain, Simon Halliday. So with an exchange of penalties by Barnes and by Leeds again, 13-6 at half-time, and now it was the Southwest Division with the wind behind them, beginning to take further control, and once again the back row in superb play. Here was something of an occasion where the Southwest Division caught the Wallabies on the hop. The quick throw-in by John Carr found Preedy, the prop forward, celebrating for the Gloucester front row union with a try that really saw the Southwest Division almost out of sight. But perhaps that was to sting the Wallabies into some counter-reaction. This was perhaps the best move of the whole match by them, with Leeds coming in on the burst to set up Paul Carrozza, the stocky winger from Brisbane, for his first try of the tour and the Wallabies' first of the match. And that's kept them in contention and kept their hopes alive. Nukila on the dummy run from the blindside wing. Andrew Leeds timing, as he did against the England students, his runs well, and then Carrozza outstripping just both Harding and Carr to make it 17 points to 10. Number 7 there, Andy Robinson, must surely have again impressed the England selectors. Had a superb match alongside John Hall and David Edgerton in the back row. The Wallabies score seemed to bring some kind of change of tactics by them. They started to run the ball that came their way, but this time the Southwest Division were ready for them. Nukila coming in from one wing to feed Paul Carrozza on the outside, and shadowed all the way by Ralph Nibbs and Andy Robinson, the ubiquitous back row forward. So with the Wallabies tamed, the final minutes were to belong to the green-shirted South and Southwest Division, coached by Mike Rafter and highlighted in these dying moments by Stuart Barnes. A penalty by the England fly half, keeping up his challenge against Rob Andrew for the number 10 jersey for England, and that made it 20 points to 10. And it wasn't his last word either. From the break, Carr setting it up to Harding. Harding, of course, England current incumbent at scrum half. And then Alan Buzzer, who'd come on as replacement for Simon Halliday, sets up Stuart Barnes, and the little buff fly half rounds the post to seal the match in spectacular style. So here was the feed out. Alan Buzzer did well here to create the opening and get the pass away in the tackle, and Barnes with that little shimmy and show of the ball round the posts. And just to set the seal on the match, the conversion points by the fly half as well, to make it 26 points to 10, and yet another convincing victory for one of England's divisional sides to follow in the footsteps of London and the North. Victory 26 points to 10, and the prospect then of the Midlands going for a divisional Grand Slam against the Wallabies on Saturday. And surely for